Okay, so one of the first things we do is that on the top margin, we make sure, first of all, sometimes we're in the wrong year. I don't know why, but we just make sure that I don't know why that happens, but I just check, yes, it's September 2021. So then we go to the right and then we see where it says week, month, agenda, and a plus button.
Hmm.
So we're going to click the add button. And so what we're going to add then is, well, you could add an event if you want, but it depends what you're trying to do. If you want students to sign up for slots, right,
Hmm.
to meet with you, then what you do, you would click on appointment group.
Okay.
If you just want to have an event, if you just want to say, hey, everybody, just show up. I'm going to give a presentation on MLA. Then you could just have an event and you would include the three calendars and you would include the link and maybe some information. Please bring two sources. This is a workshop or whatever. If you're doing the appointment slots, then you are on the fourth tab that says appointment group. You would
Hmm.
name this um, appointment grouping. So it could be
Like
drop in
office
office
hours, drop-ons.
hours. Yeah, office hours,
I love them to
or
drop in.
sign up, letting them know that they need to physically do something like
Okay.
sign up for office hours or sign up to meet with me or something like that. Um, and yes, and then the location here you would put the URL that would be for your meeting ID, right?
Okay.
So if you have, I normally keep my URLs copied on a little like post-it or Word document or somewhere where I just copy and paste it in. But we can go and retrieve that if you don't have that.
Okay. So
Okay.
do I need to cancel out of this?
Oh no, you don't have to cancel. We'll just open a new tab. I can see
Okay.
you're also the queen of tabs.
Okay, yes.
So we can just open a new tab. And then now the thing is that if we go in,
I
well,
go
let's
to,
try. Let's go in through City Zoom. Normally that can be a little problematic because you're not really setting it up here.
uh-huh.
So let's see, personal meeting room. Yeah. And then here, do you see that long join URL with the passcode?
Yeah.
So then copy that. That's big long URL right there.
Okay. Whoops. Make sure I get every, ah,
I know yeah,
okay. So it doesn't go
it
does it go all the
doesn't,
way through? There he goes.
there.
Okay.
Okay.
So
And
copy.
then you go back to your calendar, yes. And then you paste it there. Now, it's not going to be clickable there,
Okay.
but at least it lets them know if they're savvy enough to recognize that that's going to be a Zoom meeting there. And then in the details, you paste it again.
Okay.
Now, the only thing with this is that it doesn't let us do the hyperlinks, which are kind of nice because then they're very neat. And then it would just say Zoom meeting, you know, or Professor Legaspi's Zoom meeting, very neat.
Mhm.
This doesn't give us a rich content editor, which means that we can't make hyperlinks. So, I mean, just the bare links are a little
Huh.
clunky, but you can put a return or an enter after that meeting
Uh-huh.
ID, that link, and that will make it a hyperlink. And then you can give them instructions. This meeting, oh, please sign up for one slot. The meetings will be, one on one, or the meetings will be two, two on one, or group meetings, or whatever you want to let them know. If you want them to bring something to the meeting so they are prepared, I'd sometimes say, please bring three questions.
Okay.
Because sometimes students will jump in. They just think they have to do this, but they don't know what to do. And so
Right,
we
right,
waste a
right.
lot of time trying to pull out the questions that they have. So whatever it is that you just want them to be able to know that they need to do. Hmm. And then also, if you have an admit button, you can see who's up next to your meeting and just not admit anybody who's not supposed to be in the meeting. Because sometimes students will click. Sometimes I get at 3 o'clock in the morning,
Uh-huh.
someone is trying to go into my Zoom, my personal Zoom. And then I get a notification in my email that says, Susan tried to meet with you at 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, they're just flat out crazy. Like, but it's because they saw a link somewhere and
And
they
I just
clicked on
clicked
it.
it.
They're trying to come
Yeah.
in. All right. So once that is set, then right there where it says calendars on the top, you can select all of the classes that you want to invite to this or who will have this pop up in their calendars as well. So it can be all three. Done. Very good. And then
Okay.
here it says have students sign up in groups. No, not necessarily. They don't have to do that. So the dates. This is a part where we go ahead and say when is your first drop in that you want? Is it going to be today? Later today?
It's gonna be on, I guess, the Wednesdays from
Wednesdays. Okay. And then on the time range, you will put the first range. So the first one will be 10, okay,
and
to
let's see.
mm-hmm. All right. Okay, so to 12. And then if you so that's 2 hours. That means each of your meetings can be 20 minutes long. Does that give you
Yeah,
time? So
yeah.
you can if or half an hour if you feel like it should be half an hour. If you want to keep it to 20 minutes. Um because if you have it half an hour, that means you have only what?
Two students.
Two students, yeah. Uh-huh. And then you right here limit each time slot to one user. If you really want these to just be one-on-one, it's one user.
Yeah.
If you're okay with a group of people coming in, two or three, then two or three. Sometimes we're telling them the same exact thing,
Hmm.
so it's okay if you have groups. Allow students who have signed in slots that are still available. Allow students to see who. No, so we
No,
discussed this because
privacy.
there can be a little bullying that happens, right?
Uh-huh.
Limit participants to attend one appointment. So if you have an appointment hog, that means it's a student who will sign up for all of the appointments if they can.
Uh-huh.
I mean, that means they will take up your 2 hours if they're the first person to go in. So you can limit it, like they can only do one appointment.
Is that one
Um,
appointment for the whole per week, or is it for the whole semester? How does that work?
that is per. Oh, that's a good point. No, I think that's one appointment per slot. So what
Okay.
happens here is that maybe you only want to set up a month, right?
Okay.
And also in the details, you could say, be sure to only sign up for one appointment on the Wednesday or something like that. Like, or please do not take up more than one appointment, even if the system allows you to do so. So you can give them instructions on that because that's a good point. I don't know if you set up a whole month thing, appointments. No, no, I think it means that. It means that if all of the appointments are listed,
Hmm.
then the student will only be able to come in that one time on that one Wednesday, not every Wednesday.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. So then the second thing is that say you want to put the next date, and the next date is the following Wednesday, which is what, the 15th, the 22nd. All right. And then also it's a 2 hour slot. So you would put that in there.
Let's see, whoops. Yep. Mhm. And then I was going to do this. So yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And say you're like, you know what? I'm just going to do these 2 weeks at a time. Like you probably noticed my FRC drop-in meetings.
Mhm.
I only do them two weeks at a time. I have jury duty, I think I mentioned last time. So I can't really tell if I'm going to be available or not or when. So I have to wait for certain things. But if you already know that you're absolutely always free on Wednesday for the month of September, you could fill in the following Wednesday, which would be the 29th.
Just do that.
And
And
then that way you can just do it month by month, you know, and then that just makes it easier for you to be able to plan ahead.
yeah, and for the students too.
And for the students too, so that they don't become overwhelmed. Or so also they could think, oh my goodness, she doesn't have anything in October. I better meet with her now, right? Instead of thinking, oh no, she's got something the last day in December. That's when I'm going to meet her and tell her I need help. And so here you just click on the go button. It's right by the 20 minutes there. And so what it should do is that it should break up those little slots.
Does it
So
give any time for
the in between.
yeah.
So if normally, okay, so you might need in 2 hour space, you might need time to just take a breather, go get some water or something. My huge recommendation is just to tell the student, oh, thank you, you're here. Can you hold on a bit? I need to go and get some water or something,
Okay.
right? Because then they're already there. But if you don't allow them to be there, then some of your waiting time is really going to be just waiting time. So
Right.
it's
And they
kind of nice
and a
to
lot of
just
times they
have,
could leave too
yeah,
if they're
they
in the
could. They like, oh no, I better leave. And so if you notice on the top there, now you've got them segmented out, 10 to 10:20, yeah?
mhm.
Uh-huh. And so now you can go ahead if you like what you see here, then you can go ahead and publish.
Okay, I'll just see what happens.
All right. And so now do you see the 15th? Now it looks gray right now. Why does it look gray? It looks gray because why does it look gray? Hmm.
Because no one has signed up for it.
No one has signed up for it. You're a genius. Yes, that's why it looks. I'm like, why does it look gray? Yes, it looks gray because no one signed up for it. But once students start to sign up, then they turn black, I believe, and then it will have a name. It will say Sherry or Tom or whomever it
For
is.
me, but will it show it for the other students? Since
Yes, so
I
for the other students, when they go into their Canvas calendar, they will see that there. And not only that, I believe, if memory serves, that it pops up as a to-do list on their homepage. So I would greatly just suggest that students are visiting their Canvas calendar all the time because they give me at least these messages that say, "Oh, I didn't realize there was a due date." I'm like, well, if you're not looking at the modules to see the due date or the to do list to see there's a due date, you can see all the due dates in the Canvas calendar. They're right there, right? And so
yeah,
that's
they
why I would direct them to go to the Canvas calendar and to see it there, and then they would click on it. And I believe once they click on it, it will allow them to select the time that they want.
yeah, I've been having trouble with students. They just look at the to-do list. They don't look at
Yes.
anything else.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'll look at the grade book and I'll see no one has turned anything in except for maybe like 5 people
Right.
because it's not on the to-do list as due yet.
Yes.
And so I have to, I did it for one assignment, but I didn't do it for the last assignment. I said, so I went into the grade book and I clicked on that feature so that you can send everybody an email who hasn't submitted.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And, you know, if you're reading this before midnight on Friday,
Yes.
you
Yeah.
still have time to turn this in.
No kidding, right? No kidding. Yes. And so it's good that you're messaging students and letting them know. But it is a little frustrating that they're not going through the modules. And so one of the things that I have done is I hide the grade book for the first 2 weeks and I hide the assignments and discussions and quizzes always. So that I tell them you need to go through the modules in order to access the assignments. The other thing I do is that I put in requirements and prerequisites.
Yeah, I did that with this one. And so people are like, there's something wrong. I can't access the.
And like, yes, what's wrong is that you're not going through the modules and opening all of the content.
Right. They're just skipping around.
They're just skipping. Yes. And so, and I won't let them. They're like, can you unlock it? I'm like, actually, you unlock this for yourself. And this is how you do it.
Right. I told them like this one student was just, I can't get it. And because they missed an assignment.
Right.